Councilman Koteas. Thank you, sir.
You can attack my character all you like because you don't know me and I don't care. Get that? Okay, so we're even on that one.
Mayor. A lot of the technical issues have been discussed, but I want to take a different angle on this. I think this was basically a political hijinks. I think this was a gotcha that went wrong. Councilman Koteas and Councilman Stevo ran to the Sonora News thinking that the mayor had a conflict of interest in this issue because he was on the board of the Caring Corps, which at the time he was not. Secondly, they didn't understand the facts of where the money is. They saw a $7,300 check and they thought the town had exceeded the $4,000 threshold that all of these council people are aware of. So when that went upside down and they discovered they had a problem, they then resorted to state statutes, and I have a copy of it right here. I'm not an attorney, but I believe our attorney, town council, will make a comment on this. There's nothing amiss here. There's nothing foul here. And I personally am ashamed at what's going on in this town. And I think these two councilmen need to apologize to this council. They need to apologize to the Caring Corps, to the citizens of Carefree, and I think the Sonora News as well needs to write a retraction tomorrow on your misrepresentation of this issue.
Do other members, please, no demonstrations?
My name is Bill Rintelmann, and I've resided at 35407 North Palo Verde Way for the past 14 and a half years. A lot of what I'm going to say has already been discussed, but since the article came out in the Sonora News on the 20th, I've been upset very, very much about what's been going on here on the part of Mr. Koteas and Mr. Stevo. Since the incorporation of our town in 1984, our town council and staff have made significant improvements to the lifestyle, health, and safety of our town while keeping our town in a strong financial position. The fact is well documented in a letter recently mailed to all Carefree citizens, and I'm not talking about the letter that Mayor Schwan sent, but I'm talking about the letter that came out and demonstrated clearly the strength of our financial position. Therefore, why is it that the Sonora News, owned by Don Sorchek, constantly derides the accomplishment that this town has made year after year? He has carried on a personal vendetta with at least the past 4 mayors. And the personal attacks and character assassinations have become increasingly worse since the unwarranted recall petition was initiated against Mayor Schwan, because every issue on the front page, there's a negative article, pictures of 2 of our councilmen. On the inside, cartoons. This goes on and on and on. And to make matters worse, these 2 council members, Peter Koteas and Doug Stevo, have clearly joined the personal attacks on Mayor Schwan. And the issue involves the various items that have already been discussed. On September 21st, all of you got the information about this state money that was available for a very good cause, which people have already talked about in terms of Caring Corps transportation. That's state money. That is not money from the town of Carefree. And the instructions clearly said that 25% of a grant of the total amount, Mr. Cody, the total amount, has to be paid by the town. Now, the 2 of you knocked all of these issues in that article and indicated that Mayor Schwan had no business doing those things, when in fact he did. This has been very clearly stated. And the very simple thing of determining that he had resigned from the board of directors of the Carrying Corps on May 26th, all you had to do was make a phone call. But the reporter here said, well, no, his resume indicated. His resume indicated. Well, these are serious allegations, and indeed, there are a lot of people think that you do owe an apology to the mayor, to the other members of the council, and to the people who elected you. I simply wonder, if you're so confused on this issue, what about all the other business of the town?
Lyn Hitchon, 6125 East Little Hope Place. I would like to say that it is understandable that Councilman Koteas and Councilman Saveau and even Mr. Pierce are not aware of what they are talking about when they are talking about contributions not being approved for this year. I have been on the contribution committee for as long as there has been a contributions committee. The contributions committee sees grants that are applied for that are fully funded by the town, by local nonprofits. That is what we decided, or what you decided not to fund this year. This is a totally separate animal. And like I said, I understand that you guys have no history with this town. This is the first time you have engaged. So you would not know that. But these are totally different things that you're talking about. And you guys are really playing this. And Mr. Koteas, you're asking for courtesy and civility. You have not displayed that from the first council meeting. The Sonora News has not displayed it. The recallers have not displayed it. You talk about personal attacks. The man sitting in the middle here has had more personal attacks than anybody I have ever heard of in a free job. You guys have not been civil. You have loaded personal attacks on Councilwoman Saveau, Councilman Miller, Mayor Schwan, Councilman Gemmill. I mean, you guys have, where do you come off asking for courtesy and civility, Mr. Koteas, when you have displayed absolutely none of that, and an appalling lack of what you're talking about when you're talking about contributions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hitchens.